Good morning, PRHS. Today is Friday, November 1st, and welcome to PRHS Today. I am Gavin Rayome.
And I'm Alexander Mitchell. For this morning's weather, we are looking at around 60 degrees or so, a nice high of 73 today, so it'll be a great day today. Mm-hmm. And look out for a little bit of rain, might come out later today, but for the most part, pretty good.
Speaking of nice weather and rain, Halloween is just happened. What's your favorite candy?
I don't really have a favorite candy. I have a few that I really like. Butterfingers, Twix. Not a huge Snickers guy.
Yeah, me neither.
They're okay, but not a huge.
Yeah, I mess with Butterfingers and Twix. I personally am more into like the gummy and more sweet candies, like Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Swedish Fish. Swedish Fish are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are gonna be my personal favorites. So yeah, what's your least favorite?
Least favorite, hot take, Skittles.
Interesting. Screw dots. Dots are
Dots are rough,
awful.
but
They're awful.
I'm not. I can at least tolerate dots.
Yeah.
Skittles are chalk balls with
Yeah.
a hint of flavoring. It's
That's an interesting way. I've never heard them described like that.
no, because most people like them, and I am deranged. But
Yeah, you are very deranged. How'd you get here?
How did you get here?
I've been here.
I've been here too then.
Whatever. Well then, for today's broadcast, our first thing on the schedule is our interview. This time it is with Mrs. Potter and Mr. Ant-Man with the book club.
After that, we will take a look at the sports that recently happened over the past 2 weeks.
Lastly, we'll show off some of the great costumes we saw during this Halloween.
And without further ado, we go to Xander Shen and the interview.
Thank you very much. And now I'm here with the lovely Mrs. Potter, formerly Miss Fleck, and Mr. Antman. How are you two doing today?
Excellent, thank you.
Wonderful.
As you can see, we are all looking absolutely fantastic, all spookied up for the Halloween season. Now let's talk about book club. So, what is book club?
So book club is all about stories. So we talk about books, we talk about podcasts, we talk about video games. So anything surrounded around a great story.
Mm-hmm. Where do you meet and when?
So we meet in the Learning Commons, in the classroom, and we meet on Thursdays. But if you want more specifics, you can join the Google Classroom or our email list.
When was book club started?
About 20 years ago, and it's always had a librarian and an English teacher.
All right. So why should kids join book club?
Well, because we get to eat Oreos, which is amazing. Besides that, though, we also get to share our love of books and literature and pick out genres that we want to read or create different creations to share our love of reading and just hang out with fellow people.
Mm-hmm. How important do you think it is to discuss books?
Well, as an English teacher, I think it's more important than anything in the world. It's something that we can all share in common. And we don't always read the same exact book. We actually often come and say, hey, what are you reading right now? And we'll mention a book and someone might say, oh, I love that book. It's so good. And so really, it's just great to share your love and interests of books and reading and genres with like-minded people.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that kids get more out of the casual reading and discussion or the more so required reading and discussion like English versus, the casual reading and book club?
Well, I think they both do different things. So obviously as an English teacher, I give required reading to my students. And that's good for us all to be on the same ground. But what's nice about book club is instead of just assigning a book that we're all going to read, we all get to bring our own passions and interests. And, someone might say, they love horror books. And every week they're telling us about some gruesome murder or something that we get to all hear about. And someone might share their hatred for this book that they have to read right now, and we can all sympathize with them. So I think the casual discussion keeps it laid back and more fun.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, what are your two's favorite books?
Well, my favorite book is called The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Check it out. It's amazing. College student, there's a murder, mysterious characters, and just beautiful writing.
And I cannot pick a favorite book. There are so many books that I just adore, and it really depends on the season and what's going on. I just can't do it. It's like picking a favorite food. There's just so many flavors. So No favorite book for me, but I have a long list of books I love.
Well, that's great. So thank you guys so much for being here. It was great having you guys. Obviously, I'm a member of book club, so sorry, but you guys got to join it. It's just too good. Oreos are amazing. Anyway, I had so much fun being here with you guys, and now back to you guys.
Thank you, Xander.
Now then, on to Ruby Tuesday, who's going to show us the wonderful sports that happened this week.
Thank you, Gavin. And I don't know what you guys are talking about with candy, but I love dots, Butterfingers, and y'all are lacking on peppermint patties. But anyway, there was a lot to cover on the past 2 weeks, and there was too many sports going on, so I'm just going to keep it short and simple, saying they all did wonderful. And now let's take a look on October 21st. Our varsity volleyball team had a wonderful game. They took home the gold, and they also raised over $1,000 for breast cancer awareness. And then they're heading over to playoffs against Souhegan, so good luck, volleyball team. And then another huge win for the Bobcats is the varsity field hockey team made it to playoffs. They won their first game against Kingswood, 1-0, and then a couple days after that, they headed over to Hollis Brookline. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but they had an amazing season, and everyone did wonderful. And that's it for today, so we're going to take it back to the chaos over to Gavin.
Thank you, Ruby.
And now on to a special Halloween segment where we will be showing people who actually put effort into their costumes this year. And with that, we have reached the end of today's broadcast.
Thank you, Mr. Salzer, of course, for letting us use this studio.
And thank you, Mrs. Potter and Mr. Ant-Man, and everyone who allowed us to take photos of their costumes.
They're pretty good costumes.
Better than us.
Yeah, definitely better than us. And with that, goodbye, sorcerers.